Man, it is. Maybe with this. It's been a while, right, you guys? Ooh. Hey you guys, it's Hermie. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things style with a heavy mix of thrift and vintage. All right, you guys, I know it has been a hot minute. It has been so crazy. Life is so crazy. Let me know in the comments below if you just feel like February just like flew by. Like January felt so long. And then February just flew by and I can't even believe it's like we're already in March. Like so crazy. I have been traveling like crazy. I am feeling a little bit under the weather, but I was like, I need to get this video out. I've been wanting to do the 2025 trends for such a long time. For the past couple of weeks, Fashion Month has just ended in Paris. Lots of great shows at the time I'm recording this. So just so much good stuff. I really like to use the runway shows. I like to use watching streetwear. I'm inspired by what I see just working in the advertising industry and just getting exposure to a lot of entertainment and a lot of early on trends on things that we're going to see on screen and in your living room. And so a lot of my stuff just really comes from inspiration and just being an avid learner of all things fashion. So with that, I'm really excited to do this video. I actually have my notepad. I know I did a little video around a vision notebook or vision journal. But anyways, I've been taking a lot of notes for the last couple of months, and I just always feel like it's a really good time to release the video around this time because we're kind of ending winter time right now. We've already kind of predicted some of those trends when we did 2024 because, you know, the season kind of crossover into 2 years. And it really is about just looking forward, like what are we getting excited about as we close out winter? What are we looking forward to for spring and summer? And then, of course, just doing that full cycle again, going into fall and winter. So with that said, of course, mine is going to have a huge spin on how you can find these things through thrifting, because through thrifting, you don't have to wait until the retailers put the stuff in the store. You know, all the retailers are trying to put all their spring and summer stuff out where you can go to the thrift store and find every season when you're going into a thrift store. Yes, some of the retailers will prioritize the upcoming seasons to make sure that, you know, the stuff that people are looking for at the moment are there, but you could always find great stuff out of season, which I always recommend and which you guys have seen in other videos of mine. Okay, so before we get into like color palettes and patterns and silhouettes and what those trends are, I want to just take a moment to really acknowledge what's going on right now with fashion, specifically people who want to lean into style. And this is just my opinion. You can leave in the comments below. I'm always willing to hear feedback, but this is just my take on where it's going, and I'm super excited for it. Really what that is I said it in my 2024 trend video, and I'm coming here saying it now that I am so glad that this micro trend, core this and core that, is basically going away. Now, I know that may be controversial for some people. Maybe it's me refusing to follow these trends. Maybe it's me not following certain people on TikTok. But it's seriously, this micro trend just was trying to keep up with trends that just didn't make sense. It encouraged overconsumption. It made you feel like you could never keep up. It made you feel like you were always behind. And honestly, there was no individuality in it. And so I talked about it a little bit in 2024. And I know this is labeled as a trend video, and it's kind of ironic to say, hey, there are no trends. There definitely are still trends that I think have long-standing vitality. I don't even know how you would say that. Like they're going to be around for a really, really long time, and not just feel like you need to instantly buy something in the store and it's going to be out of style like in a week. Like these micro trends just needed to go, and I am so happy to see that period behind us. It's kind of like the rules are being thrown out the window, and it's all about self-expression, individuality, juxtaposition of mixing feminine with masculine, gender neutral approaches to fashion. And I am just, you could tell I'm really excited about this. I'm just so excited that we're at this point in time. That's how people are putting the looks together that I think is going to be really inspirational for a lot of people. I really kind of want to just talk about like overall concepts that I'm seeing that are going to be really, really interesting. And when I go over them, you're going to see how you can really just make them your own. Once I said, I'm going to keep on saying again, individuality, self-expression, looks, everything all over the place. I'm here for it. So the first thing that I want to cover is there's this visible mix of masculine and feminine. So mixing feminine and masculine pieces together are being more gender neutral in the clothing that you're putting together. So I'll show some examples, and I actually have some thrifted items that I want to show you here on how you could put those looks together, because I always feel like that's really important. But this concept of putting something ultra feminine with something that has traditionally been masculine, whether that be sporty, a slack, or a suit. And I am like here for it. And I just love it. It really brings back like this 80s and 90s vibe that I'm totally vibing with right now. One of them is putting track pants with a really feminine top. And so right here, I have this pair of Reebok pants that I purchased at the Goodwill. It's navy. It has this orange stripe that I love on it. Super sporty, super casual. This is what I mean by mixing this, something a little bit more masculine or sporty or casual, with something ultra feminine that normally speaks to more like an evening wear. Just imagine taking this tracksuit with this sparkly top and then putting it with an open toe heel or even a closed toed boot or even like a cute sneaker. But see how it kind of just has that juxtaposition of masculine and feminine put together. I'm going to show you another example. Here's another sparkly top that I have shared in the past in one of my thrift hauls. And it's kind of like an overhead poncho, kind of has a bohemian theme, which I'm going to get into as well. But just putting that together with track pants with a really beautiful heel, a little bag to go with it, your hair tied up in a ponytail or down and curly or short like a pixie. You could do so many looks like this, but see how like it's just mixing it up. I am so for this look. I love this look. I love just like the palette of this, having like it look like it's going out, but it's super comfortable and casual. I have another example that I'm going to show you. This is Adiga and Voltaire top that I purchased at a sample sale in New York City. And just putting this sparkle top with the track pants. So see how you can have so many different looks. And I kind of went sparkly because that's just kind of my vibe. But you could do like a lace top, something a little bit more transparent, see-through, a crop top. There's so many ways that you could put this look together, but I think you get the point of like mixing and matching of this. And I just love, sorry, I was hanging it back up. I just love that look so much. And it's just a majority of this was thrifted. Like the two tops and this pants. And there's so many things you can do with it. It could be day, it could be evening, and I am just all for it. And of course you can do this in so many different ways, whether it's a baggy pair of jeans, pair with a really sparkly top. You could do it with a tailored suit and like a really deep cut front in the chest area. There's so many different ways of doing it, but really just that masculine and feminine kind of like juxtaposition of that collision look put together. I just like really love it. And I think a lot of people can have fun with it. Next one is really boho. Like boho is big. I give credit to Chloe. That line, I mean, for the spring and summer, it was beautiful. You're seeing it all over the celebrities. You see it all in like Pinterest. And then the autumn winter show was just as amazing. And I give all credit to Chloe to really reigniting this like bohemian, like boho look, but there's two ways of doing it. And so you could really go feminine with it, like really flowy items with some like open toe sandals for spring. You could pair it with like some pants when you transition to fall and winter. But there's also this other category within bohemian is called moto bohemian, where you're pairing very bohemian pieces with like a leather jacket or like boots. So like Doc Martens of some sort. And so I'm going to show you some examples. Of course, a majority of this was thrifted, and just kind of show you how it can look so different when you pair it with like a Doc Marten like boot. So I'm going to show you some tops, and some of these cross over into both categories. So you're going to see some repeats here, but I'm going to bring this one back out. This has a very bohemian theme to it. It's a poncho. It's very flowy. It has that peach color that's like perfect for spring and summer. But in my opinion, you pair it with some chocolate brown. Definitely a great way to transition to fall and winter. But this is very bohemian-esque, and you could just style this in so many different ways. Here's a piece I got off Commerce, I believe. This was very Chloe inspired. I love the bell sleeves. I love how it's a little bit of a crop top here and kind of the transparency. This I love with some bell bottom light wash denim. This looks really cute over a pair of shorts. So this is like perfect going into spring. And I just really love the color palette. You can see just how it's flowy and beautiful. This top I shared in one of my hauls that I did late last year, really inspired by Chloe. You could see the really peach color. This is beautiful going to spring and summer. Also really good if you mix it with a really great palette going into fall and winter, which I'm going to go over later on in this video. But just, you could just tell the flow, it's feminine, it's beautiful. And this could be great. Actually, I think about it great with those pair of Reeboks pants that I showed earlier. But something like this. This little crop top that has little puffy sleeves, just very feminine, very flowy. This is a top that definitely can go throughout every season, depending on how you layer it. I really see this going with like a pair of really beautiful, flowy linen white pants, light denim wash jeans, and you could just definitely layer this up during fall and winter. And I just love the pattern of like the different colors of that. So I definitely shared this in one of my hauls in the past. And then of course this corduroy cropped top, I shared this in a haul as well. This was thrifted. It kind of looks like a mini poncho when it's on. I really love how it's just really big and baggy and flowy. It's something that you probably wouldn't think is bohemian, but it definitely has that vibe. And so really love how this looks. Another one, which I'm going to bring out later, is this animal print really flowy dress. I shared this in one of my hauls as well, but see how it's just so femme. I really, really love it. I think it's just so beautiful. It's transparent, and I think it would go great into any season, but this is really I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this for spring and summer. So you see how it's all flow and stuff. I just want to show you something here. So I want to show you something here. So see how this is flow? You can see like you're wearing a gold sandal, a beautiful wicker, purse. But then look how it changes if you pair it with some Doc Martens. So that's what I mean by like moto bohemian, is bringing that masculinity. And like I said, feminine and masculine colliding, which I super love. So you could just see how that kind of changes the dynamic of the outfit when you just add in like a pair of like really heavy black boots, or if you paired this with a black leather jacket. But let me show you another example of how you can play with this. So another example is this peach top. Generally, what I'm seeing too in a lot of the autumn winter shows, and I'll show some examples here, is pairing very light color, traditionally spring and summer colors with black, which I'm totally for. But just look at how you think this look might look. Wearing this maybe over like a black maxi dress, pairing this, and then having these boots, pairing this with a leather jacket. So just this juxtaposition of like femme and masculine, but doing it moto bohemian, I am all for it. I love a very ultra feminine look, but I definitely love wearing my Doc Martens when I can. But just see how that contrasts with the black boots, and like how it just changes, how you imagine this wearing this with like a white sandal, right? Or like a light denim pant, and then imagine just like pairing this color with black. And so that's what I mean by moto bohemian, and hopefully that gives you like an idea. Next category, I'm going to call it workwear silhouette, and it's really leaning into the suit, but making it fun, unique, feminine, and just like interesting. Schiaparelli really kind of embraces that with really eccentric like jewelry and designs and pieces of gold embellishments. Stella McCartney did a really phenomenal job on her latest runway show for Autumn Winter 25 that recently dropped. So amazing. If you guys haven't checked it out, you definitely should. But it was just so fun and playful, and was feminine. It was interesting. It had a lot of sparkle. It was just a really, really great show. And so if you definitely check it out, it's definitely a quintessential explanation of what I'm trying to get at. But one of the pieces that I wanted to show you that I did show in a haul like late last year, or maybe even like late summer, is this jacket that I got that I think is part of like a band jacket. I'm not really sure, but just looking at this is what I'm talking about, is just having fun with a suit and doing unexpected pieces. I see myself wearing this with maybe potentially black tights and maybe like a skirt or shorts that kind of just hit right at the bottom right here, with some like knee-high boots or some pointy toe heels, and like cinching this with like about, but like really that feminine, it really has like that 90s and 80s working girl, you know, vibe, like going to her job, you know, her 9 to 5 job, you know, in New York City. Loewe did a really good job on the spring summer 25 where there was a lot of feathery tops that were paired with pants. Once again, going back to that juxtaposition of femme and masculine again, like I'm telling you, like all of these kind of like crossover, but just really playing with the suit and doing unique and interesting things with it is going to be really, really on trend. And I honestly think when you start experimenting with these pieces, these are going to be looks that you're probably going to want to carry on for multiple years, maybe even forever. If you really love rocking it, it just gives you that energy that you expect when you put a piece of clothing on to really just give you like life, if that makes sense. Oh, okay, guys, we're going to continue now. We're going to get into some color and print. So I don't think it's any surprise that animal print is here. And honestly, I see leopard and certain patterns as neutral. But if you look at the runway shows, if you're looking at street photography, if you're just embracing kind of what has always been popular, like animal print is like here to stay. Like I said, I think it's a neutral. I think it's a great way of adding interest to your outfit when needed. And you could do it in so many ways, whether it's accessories with the belt or your shoes, or you could do it with a full-on ensemble. It's just everywhere. So I'm going to show some examples that are coming from the runway shows, but this is like all season around, like spring and summer, fall and winter. Animal print is here to stay. I showed you some examples of already something with animal print, but I'm going to show you a couple of other things that I thrifted recently. So of course, like I said, a lot of this stuff crosses over. Can you guys hear my dog? Okay, where was I? So like I said, all these crossover, feminine mixing with masculine, boho chic. Now we're getting to the animal print. Animal is here to stay. I love this. This is an ASOS brand. I did share this. Like I said, we don't need to spend too much time on this, but you could just see how all those 3 different categories now play into the pattern is all I'm saying. Recently shared this in another haul that I did. This is a vintage Guess top that I recently purchased. I love the sheer. I love that it's very feminine. I love that it has that workwear vibe that I could put into it. And I just think it's so beautiful. I wear this with a pair of light wash jeans. I've worn it with black slacks. And I just think the fact that it's a little bit transparent, a little bit peekaboo kind of gives that feminine like interest to it. But here's another example of just like a standard button down top that has leopard print. I obviously love leopard when I'm showing these animal print examples. I got these recently at a little boutique thrift store. This one is leopard as well. The zebra, and there's a bunch of other prints that are here, but I really love leopard. But I got these really flowy pants that really go great into spring and summer. And honestly, I've been wearing these with some knee-high boots, you know, just to have a little bit more warmth and coverage during the fall and winter season. So I definitely see all these pieces that I share with you to really cross over to multiple seasons. It just depends on how you style it and how you layer it. In addition to animal print, there's going to be a lot of plaid. Plaid going into spring and summer, plaid sticking around for autumn and winter. And I know plaid is normally associated with like fall, so autumn, but plaid is going to be everywhere and it's different styles, different fabrics, but it is just everywhere. So I'm going to show some examples here. I couldn't like pull out all the archives for the plaid because I think it's kind of self-explanatory, but just so much plaid. So of course, so many different colors, deep reds, black and white, pastels, just so much plaid, you guys, going into this year. I'm pretty sure you're already seeing it right now during winter as people kind of got a little bit of taste of it right now earlier in the year, but it is just everywhere. And it's such a great way to create patchwork. And I don't know how to explain it other than it creates texture and interest to your clothing. So like pairing plaid with like a standard solid piece of clothing is like really, really key. But I'm going to show you some examples because I think it'll do better justice than me just showing something on a hanger. But I'm here for it. I love plaid. I think it's such a great way to make an outfit interesting. And when you see all these different examples, you're going to see how it really makes sense for spring and summer, but then how it naturally just makes sense for autumn and fall. It really just depends on the increase of the grid or like the thickness of the grid. I don't know what you call that. Let me know in the comments below if you know what that's called. the fabric that it's again, and the color palette. So yes, plaid is here. It's not going anywhere. It's been around for a long time, but you're going to see explosion of it. And I'm here for it because I think it's just so interesting and really brings vibrant and life to any look. Another thing that is not going away is denim on denim. Mixed wash jeans denim. It doesn't matter, like light wash, maybe a medium wash, you go into spring and summer. For evening, you want to go to a darker wash. As you go into autumn and winter, you're going for the darker wash. I love all the washes. I'm definitely a big fan of a medium or light wash denim. It's just like kind of like my safe go-to type of denim. But there's also this mixture of different patchwork or different tones of denim mixed together. So I'm going to show an image of something I wore recently, actually just this past weekend. It was my birthday. It was when I went to birthday with my husband, but you're going to see the pants are two different washes. So that's what I mean by two different washes. You're seeing it everywhere, and I just think it makes it so unique. It's very slimming, very elongating on your legs if you're short like me. So I really, really love that look. And then I left patchwork and just other items. Have you guys seen this in certain videos that I had before? I thrifted this years ago. I really love this piece because it has that patchwork of like the gray denim mixed up with the medium wash. And it has some distressing here. I love layering this with a pair of jeans and like over a hoodie. I put something feminine underneath it. That feminine and masculine, I'm telling you, these all cross over. And it's just been such a staple to have like a standard vest. I love how it fits baggy, and I get compliments on this all the time. But like I said, if you don't want to look like you're wearing like a full like Canadian tuxedo with like the long sleeve, you know, denim top with the jeans, there's different ways to do denim on denim, as easy as just wearing a vest with your denim, wearing this over a denim dress. I also like playing with, oh my God, I'm losing my vocabulary. Oh my gosh. It literally, I forgot the word. Once I remember it, I'll put it right here in the bottom on the screen, but I can't mention it. But there's a way to trick so it looks denim on denim, even though it's not because of the color of the material. I don't know why I'm forgetting that word right now, but it will come to me, and I'll put it down here. It's really hard to mention colors because colors are really everywhere. And even when I'm looking at all the autumn and winter runway looks, where I'm seeing kind of where people are going with their styles, there's really no rhyme or reason or rules now on when you're supposed to wear a color or not. So like going into spring and summer, there's a lot of deep reds and deep burgundies, but then you're going to see your natural things like butter yellow and like lavender. But then when you go into fall, you would assume, oh, it's going to be like more oranges and browns, but we're seeing those oranges and browns like it's spring and summer. And then you're seeing like pale pink and lavender in fall and winter, autumn and winter. So for me, it's kind of like we're in this position of like how you're pairing the colors together. And what I'm seeing is this mixture of when you're in fall, you're pairing it with like a light color, but with like a deeper color that complements it really nice. So I'm going to show an example here where there was this beautiful, I want to say it's Balmain, if that's how you pronounce that brand. But it was like this beautiful sea foam like fur jacket, but then it was paired with like a deep red belt and like boots, if that makes sense. And then for spring and summer, you're seeing a lot of lavender paired with like a deep red, which I'm going to show an example of. And so I just really love how everybody's playing with colors, not really sticking to the rules, but it's the way that you pair them, if that makes sense. So I'm going to show some examples here of spring and summer combos, as well as autumn and winter combos, but the colors are just everywhere. So if you love butter yellow, you can wear that throughout the season. I don't have to give you permission, but I'm saying there's just kind of like no rules anymore, you guys, and I just love it. So I'm trying to tell you there's rules, but there really isn't. And what are some popular colors that you're going to see in the retail store? Because there's always going to be a popular color, right? Doesn't mean that's all you wear, but there's going to be some popular colors. And so chocolate brown is not going anywhere for spring and summer, and it's going to be sticking around for autumn and winter. It's not going anywhere. It goes beautiful, you guys. It is such a beautiful main color or a base color complementing another color, whether that's butter yellow and the chocolate brown, if it's all chocolate brown, if it's chocolate brown with some pink, if it's chocolate brown with some light green, if it's chocolate brown with some emerald green, if it's chocolate brown with some deep red, like it just goes with everything. It's like, I'm wondering if like chocolate brown is going to be like the new black, to be honest with you, but chocolate brown is here to stay. I love chocolate brown. I have talked about chocolate brown. I will embrace chocolate brown. And so you'll see right here, I showed this chocolate brown top that I totally see myself wearing for spring and summer, and I'm gonna bring this baby back when it's for autumn and winter. Another color is red. We have been talking about red for years, and I love it because I don't want things to be micro trends. Let's use our clothing, let's use it wisely, and let's wear these things out, man. And so red is not going anywhere. Red is not going anywhere. It is bright red, deep reds, burgundies, all types of reds. I'll show you some examples here we're seeing the runway shows, but they can really just be any type of red, and it's seasons for all season. I just think red is just a powerful color. It's always been described as a powerful color, and so I'm here for it. Red is still around. You got those red pieces, take them out. You see red pieces at the thrift store, pick them up. I know I mentioned yellow. Butter yellow is here, you guys. It's here to stay. It was brown, it's gonna be. So it's obviously a natural color for spring and summer. But like I said, you could bring it back for autumn and winter. And so we're all about how we can just continue to utilize our clothing throughout the year and not abandon them once a season is over. Pinks and the greens. I know you're like, Hermie, you're mentioning every color. I know this is why this video is so hard, but so fun to make at the same time. But I don't know if it's because Wicked. I don't know if like something happened. There was a certain runway show. I can't really pinpoint it, but people really love the pale pink and the pale green combo together. So I'm going to show some runway looks here. I'm all for it. I actually kind of have my fingernails a little bit of that mint color, but it's such a beautiful palette. And when you pair it with chocolate brown, it definitely transitions nicely into autumn and winter. And so I'm definitely here for that, but like a lot of pink and a lot of greens. And I am noticing that the greens really has like a gamut of like different ones. It could be chartreuse, it could be army green, deep green, emerald green, a mint green. Just green in general is a really popular color, but I notice when you're pairing it with some pink, it's just like a really great combo. You can't forget about lavender. I know I talked about lavender in my last video and I brought it up a couple of times. I really feel like lavender is here and I get a certain like nostalgic like emotion when I see lavender. I'm not sure if it was really popular in the 90s, maybe in the early 2000s, but when I see that color, it just brings me back. I don't know, like let me know in the comments below, anybody who's an elder millennial, if that's how you feel too, but lavender is here to stay. We're seeing on the runway shows, we're seeing it in the retails, we're seeing it in streetwear. It's just a beautiful complementary color. Obviously, it makes perfect sense going to spring and summer. Lavender has always been like a spring color, but like I mentioned, really pairing it with like a really deep red color combo going into autumn and winter is really beautiful as well. So like I said, like it's really about how you're combining some of these colors and not just like seeing them as standalone. I'm going to show you an example of an outfit that I never thought I would put together, but putting this like concept in place of like color combos, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Another thing too is I'm wondering, and this is me just thinking out loud right now as I'm recording, I'm wondering if like we all love monochromatic looks. I'm always going to do a monochromatic look. I think it's an easy way to look stylish and just put together. But maybe like these color combos is a way to kind of break that up a little bit because we've been doing that for so long now, you know, like monochromatic looks, especially like in the beige and light khaki colors for a while. But anyways, this is something I'm planning on wearing this year that I never thought that I would, and I'm really here for it. It is this lavender dress that I've showed before that I got from Skims. I got this at Nordstrom. I loved pairing this with butter yellow last spring and summer season. I'm still going to use it and go into the 2025 year for spring and summer as well. But instead of pairing it with butter yellow, or in addition to pairing it with butter yellow, as I always say, is I think I'm going to pair it with some red. So I got these beautiful cowboy boots. I'm not ditching the Western look. I really like it. It's here to stay for me. It's always been a staple of mine. And I just really love this combo together. And I'm being honest with you guys, I would have never thought of putting this together. Actually, now that I think about it, it's kind of like Jessica Rabbit color palette. But yeah, so I really like this together. So let me know in the comments below if you're willing to kind of be like that. But this is what I'm talking about, is like just really kind of these color combos just make everything so fun and interesting and unique. And I'm here for it. Okay, so the next one I am calling fur and fuzzy. Like fur, faux fur, feather details, like all of that is just everywhere. And I know we're already starting to see it as we entered, autumn and winter in this season, as we're in the middle of winter right now for 2025. But this is here to stay. And the reason why I say fur and fuzzy is because I understand during spring and summer, it's going to be hard to wear like fur, but I think there's ways to have like feather details, which I'll show some examples here in photos, or have things that look a little like just fuzzy in general for the winter, for the spring and summer seasons. But then as you go into fall and winter, like really embracing those faux fur and fur pieces, but it is just going to be everywhere. I'll show you some examples, but like, I want to say like almost 90% of all the runway shows that just landed between February and March right now had some type of fur or fuzzy detail in their collection. I'm here for it. So I want to show you some examples of what I've been purchasing and how I see how you compare these together. So the first thing is I'm just going to show some images here of feathers. Admittedly, I don't have a lot of feather details. It's definitely now on my thrift list to get some more lighter fuzzy pieces for spring and summer. So a lot of the pieces I have here are for autumn and winter, but I'm going to show you what the difference is like when you have like something that's a little bit more like feather detail. So this actually is very light. I showed this before. This is like a shawl that I thrifted and it's feathers. It's really lightweight. It's not heavy at all. I wouldn't rely on this to really keep me warm during the winter time, but it gives like that furry, fuzzy look. I don't really know what I'm going to do with this still. I definitely want to layer it. I have ideas for fall and winter, but that's just what I want to explain is like, there are some times where you can have a very light material that's not going to like bake you during spring and summer, I guess is what I'm saying. But what I love, and Chloe did it so well with some of her jackets, is mixing up faux leather or leather with fur. So amazing. And so I have showed this vest before that I thrifted. It has this faux leather piece here, but what I love is like how you layer it. And so I know this isn't spring or summer. I know that's the season that's coming up, but let me just show you this. So when you're thrifting, you might want to pick up these pieces at a season and prep for autumn and winter later this year. But what I'm all about is layering these pieces. And you saw me actually layer that vest on another jacket when I was in New York. So I'll put a photo up here where it was like literally in the 20s and it kept me so warm. But it's this idea of layering your pieces so they just look so unique. And I'm really inspired by this look from Chloe. So I'll put some images there. But see how it just changes the look? Like you don't need to get a jacket that has this fur detail. You could just layer a vest that you thrift on existing jackets and just give it a whole different personality. Excuse me too for like the sweats, you guys. I'm just casual today. As I mentioned, I'm getting over being sick right now. But see how it just looks different. I'm gonna look in the mirror right now to make sure it's doing this. Yeah, so like it just looks like it's a different jacket. So what I'm inspired by right now is getting fur pieces that you can layer onto existing pieces in your wardrobe and just give it a different look. So that's like with the vest. I'm going to use this as an example just to show you that I've been investing in these collars because I think they really give a unique look. So this is a faux fur collar that I believe used to belong to a jacket. I thrifted this for like $1. It was really cheap. But what you can do is if you find these collars at the thrift store, you could just layer them like this on an existing jacket. If you feel like you could do the material, you can pin it. You could just lay it flat like this, like a scarf, and it kind of just gives that look. But see how it just makes, it looks like I have a completely different jacket, if that makes sense. So this is really what I want to encourage is all the fur and fuzzies, just get little accent pieces that can make your clothes just look so different as you layer. So here's another one I got. This one's actually lamb, you know, that Gwen Stefani lamb. I don't know if it's still around, but I thrifted this as well. And this just even looks cool on it. But you could do this you could do this over a trench coat, a heavy wool jacket, a full leather trench coat, leather jacket, a black jacket, different colors. You could just mix and match. But I just wanted to show these examples because I'll show examples a lot of faux fur and stuff that you're going to see in the runway shows, and which I think are just absolutely beautiful. But from a thrift perspective, you don't have to go out and buy all these faux fur jackets, you could just buy like accessories or accents that you could just change existing pieces in your wardrobe. And my sister-in-law got this one, and I love it because it kind of has these straps on it. I don't really know how I would use this, but that kind of looks interesting too, huh? Just like a little scarf. And then also, I forget what runway show, I'll show a photo of it, but they just had like a fur scarf like this on their arm while they held their purse. And I thought that was unique too. And I was like, oh, I could just use this. And my sister-in-law, one of my sisters-in-law thrifted these for me. It's laundry. It has this little pattern in the back. But I'll show you some of the photos. But I just think these are super fun. And she found two when she's at the thrift store. So I could just have a lot of fun with these. And they buckle together and things like that. But anyways, I just wanted to show you there's a lot of affordable, sustainable ways to add fur to your wardrobe. And you can do it now because these things are in the thrift stores and they're trying to get rid of them right now as they transition to new seasons. When you want to wear something, I'm trying to look more for these for spring, but see how this isn't a heavy shirt. This is like Zara. I thrifted this at a Goodwill. It has like fuzzy little things, but it's not fur. I could definitely wear this going into spring and summer and not feel like it's weighing me down or it's too warm to wear. But these are like pieces that I'm looking for. So like just like little fun strings and things that have like fur and fuzzy. Like I don't know how to explain it. So looking at things like this, seeing if there's any tops that have feathers on it, anything to just give it a little bit more life and kind of have that look to it is how I want to try and incorporate it into spring and summer, because I do know that obviously faux fur can be really, really hot. Another thing I forgot to mention for animal print is trying to incorporate them in tights. So I'll show the link here. I got these on Amazon, but Le Ponte, I think that's how you say that brand. They did a collab with Legs, and they're going to come out with a collection in some of those. But I looked at these on Amazon and found them right away. And so, sorry, I got like fur on me. I looked at these on Amazon and found them, so I want them right away, but they're like transparent, but they have leopard. This will be so cute when you do the workwear silhouette where like you're wearing like a black blazer with like a short that goes under it, or it's like even with the length of the jacket. And then you have like really cute leopard tights under that with like some knee-high boots. I think that would just be so cute. So I definitely grabbed these. I can still wear these probably for a couple of weeks, especially as I travel back to New York because it'll still be cold. But I'm excited for that. And it's a great way to incorporate it and not overdo it if it's something that you want to ease into. Guys, so I knew this was a long one, so we're going to go into accessories. Like, I'm here for you guys. I'm here. I need to cover everything. So we're going to go into accessories. So the first thing that I want to talk about is bags. And really where we're kind of at with bags is I'm getting really inspired, but not really caring about the name. And what I mean by this, I'm just going to get my notes here, is it really is quality over brand. And I'm seeing it in a lot of conversations that are happening online, a lot of people just interest and what they're leaning into. And really what it means is, you know, a lot of the time when we talk about trends, we talk about luxury bags. And I think we're at this point in time where we just want quality, right? We want leather, we want real suede, we want great hems and stitching in the bags because we want them to last, right? And I'm going to use this quote that came from Vivienne Westwood, where she said, and I was seeing it really go viral, like on TikTok and Instagram, but it's buy less, choose well, is what she said. And I totally agree with that. And just like everything that I'm showing you. And of course, we know we're a thrifting community, but it's buy less and choose well. It's leaning into those quality pieces when you can. It's leaning into things that you like, that you know you're going to use over and over again, and not just like ditch them out the window. And so with that, I really started thinking about the purses because there's such a renaissance right now of some of those entry level luxury bags that are just have like a huge comeback. So one of the ones that I wanted to mention was Tory Burch. Tory Burch runway show is beautiful. So many people are talking about the bags and how high quality they are. They're real leather, the stitching, the hardware that's in them, and just like the quality based on the price range, people are really, really happy about that brand. Another brand that's really having like a renaissance right now is Coach. If you have not heard about Coach, People have been talking about Coach. Coach is like everywhere, even like the younger generation. People are really embracing vintage Coach when they're thrifting. And so Coach is just like really having this surge of like just high quality. And a lot of people are really leaning into it. It's been going on for a while, but it's going to continue. Even if you want to embrace some of the newer items, they're just like so hot right now. And a lot of people are talking about them. I also give a little bit of credit to Bethany Frankle. I don't know if any of you guys follow her. Let me know in the comments below if you're like existing fan or like a recent fan of Bethany Frankle. I've been following her ever since she was on The Real Housewives of New York, but I have become like a major fan of hers in the last year. And she has this thing called Handbag University. And I really trust her judgment on handbags. One, because she has a lot of wealth and she has access to the most expensive bags in the market. So she has multiple Birkins. She has multiple Chanel bags. But she does this schooling on TikTok where she takes you to Handbag University and she talks about the quality of the bag and not worrying about the price. So she will champion a Chanel next to a bag that she bought at H&M or a bag that she found at like a small boutique. So she talks about the quality, the usage of it. And I just really love that. So I'll leave a link of one of her TikToks here in the description, but I really recommend you check her out. But I think she's kind of helped me shift my thought in the way that I want to look at bags, not only when I'm buying new bags, but mostly when I'm buying thrifted bags and really being more intentional on the quality of those bags. As far as like silhouettes, you guys know that boho chic is like really popular right now. So of course those slouchy boho chic bags, really squared and texture bags are really in, long rectangle ones are in, but really, like I said, like it's kind of like all over and like really what you like and what your style is. But the key point here is the quality of the bag. So I'm going to show you some examples of some recent thrifted finds as well as a new one that I purchased recently. Oh, it's a lot of work, guys. Okay, so like I said, looking into leather, I really love this bag. You guys have probably seen it before. This is 100% leather. It's a Cole handbag. I love the shiny texture to the leather. I love that it's a bucket bag with a drawstring. I just love the gold hardware. This is a really beautiful bag. I thrifted this one and it's just so stylish and I can wear this throughout every season. So this is a perfect example of just trying to find quality. And this was thrifted. This was not a lot of money to buy. Here's another bag. Speaking of Coach, I found this. I shared this in one of my hauls as well in the past. This patent leather vintage Coach bag. I could not believe that I found this bag. This was definitely on my wish list and I came across it like within a week's time. But this is what I'm talking about. Like Coach is having a resurgence and I just love this bag. I definitely wore this more for winter time. I might still bring this out for spring and summer depending on the look, but I really, really just love this look. And I was really inspired by the Valentino Autumn Winter 24 show that really wanted me to embrace a lot of black during this season. But this is a perfect example and it's Coach. And I know I just mentioned Coach right here. This is another leather bag that I came across that was like nothing. It is not Ralph Lauren. I feel like it's Ralph Lauren inspired. It's very equestrian in style. 100% leather, really great hardware. This thing was like nothing, you guys. And I really, really love this bag. And this is going to definitely go into spring and summer and carry through autumn and winter as well. So just talking about just all the different styles, not really sticking to one thing. And this one I showed in a recent haul as well, this leather bag. It has very Dooney and Burke vibes. I love the green color. I love how it's long. It definitely can transition throughout every season. I actually love this long strap because when I wear a thick coat, it's easy to put over my shoulder and through the sleeve. But this is what I'm talking about. It's just great structure and just a really great bag. Here's something that I bought recently that I don't think I ever shared here on my channel, but I did get this Coach bag. I love it so much. The leather is amazing. I use this for my work bag. It's perfect for holding my laptop and my iPad and all my essentials. So of course I like charmed it up with some stuff that I have here. But this is Coach, a really, this is a new item that I bought at the end of summer of last year or maybe early fall. But I just love this bag. And it's just like I said, like Coach has a resurgence of stuff that they're doing. Oh, and then let me show you this one. This is a luxury bag. This is the Speedy. This is a 2003 that I got recently. I absolutely love it. I actually wanted this bag when I was in college. So the fact that I have it now is just amazing. I love that it's secondhand. But I got this at What Comes Around Goes Around New York City. But I really love this. It's a classic. Obviously, it's high quality. This bag is over 20 years old and it is like in such great condition. It's just like amazing. So I did purchase one recently as well as part of my collection. So jewelry, I don't really have another examples only because jewelry is like really just everywhere. Really just make it what you want to make it. You want to go heavy, thick, and chunky, go heavy, thick, and chunky. You want to go one day where it's dainty and small, go dainty and small. You want a lot of beads, go with beads. It really is, the world is your oyster with jewelry right now. I have no opinions on what you could do with it other than just wear what you love and love what you wear is really when it comes to jewelry. You can mix your metals. You can wear all gold. You can wear all silver. It really is all over the place. And I really encourage you just to embrace it. And if you're someone who likes to keep it simple, then keep it simple. I love jewelry. I love experimenting with jewelry, but that's really kind of the trend is there is no trend. Wear what you want to wear and love what you wear. Guys, we're at the tail end here, but we cannot talk about accessories without talking about sunglasses. So there are some trends with sunglasses. I love sunglasses. You guys know I'm obsessed with sunglasses. I always share when I thrift sunglasses or get new sunglasses. I think I'm going to do like maybe a video just on my sunglass collection, but really similar to everything else. It really is all over the place, but there are some trends that you might want to lean into on this case. And I'm going to tell you them right here. So the first one is the transparent color lens, specifically yellow lenses. I'm going to say this is Tom Ford really embracing that. You're going to see a lot of influencers, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of people on social media really embracing these yellow lenses. I'm going to show you a pair that I got on Amazon that's really affordable. But yellow lenses is really here to stay and really just big frames and like retro inspired. Lenses is huge. You're seeing them a lot on the runway. You're seeing a lot of people embrace them. And so those are kind of like new ones lifting up. And then having a gradient like lens is really popular right now. So kind of like how it looks like a transition, like ombre, like a little bit darker on top and gets a little bit lighter at the bottom. So those are like some trends I'm seeing in sunglasses. But really at the end of the day, it's kind of just wear whatever you want to. I know you're like, I heard me, you're supposed to tell me a trend, but it really is. This is the moment to really be unique and different. But there's all these trends. And if you want to lean in some of those, it might show that maybe it's something that you like. But it really is just wear all your sunglasses how you want them. But I'm going to show you some examples here. So this is a pair that I got on Amazon. They're called Sojos. I actually made a little short around this one. I think this brand is so excellent. If you want to experiment with some sunglasses, you're not really to drop down like 200, 300 on the designer, and maybe you just never will. And this is kind of where you stay. I really love these lenses. I think they're cool and they're awesome. They look super cool when you have like winter gear on it. And I think they're going to transition nicely into spring and summer. But these are what I'm talking about is kind of like this light, see-through kind of colored lenses, and this yellow is really popular. So I'll show some images here on kind of how people are wearing them. And like I said, I think this is really inspired by Tom Ford. Here's another, these are actually Tom Ford that I got. They're big, but see how they're transparent? They're just a lot of fun. So something like this, this might be too much for you, but this is something, because funny, you can see the ring. This might be something that's too much for you, but I really love wearing these big lenses. I think it's fun. I think it just brings so much uniqueness to your outfit, as I keep on saying. So these are definitely in my wardrobe, but this is another example of getting like a transparent colored lens that's not yellow. So then we got big and bold here. I've showed these in some of my, in one of my videos in the past too, for one of my hauls. These are some vintage Ray-Bans that I got at a consignment shop. I love them so much. I think they're super cool. They're dirty. But this is another example of just like a really big lens that kind of carries through all the seasons. This looks great like when you have like a long winter coat, a faux fur coat, but it also looks really cool going into spring and summer. There's some Pilar Crespi sunglasses that I showed as well. They're kind of like unique aviator. These are from the 70s. I love the detail. Let's see, you can see that. The detail of these sunglasses, I think they're just so cool. But this is another look too. Like I said, just unique and different with the color and the gold hardware. So really just bringing some interest to your outfit. And this, I don't think my friend is going to see this video. I think by the time I post it, I'll already go to our B-Day dinner. But I did get my friend a pair of pre-loved Versace sunglasses. And I think these are so cool and I think she's going to love them. But this is what I'm talking about, the gradient. So I love these because they're skinny. but they have the gradient lens. And I think they're so cool. They're Versace. And I just love how they're skinny. I think she'll really, really like them. But see how they all the sunglasses just look different. So it's really all over the place. But yeah, so I got these for her. So I will not be keeping these. But anyways, I really love sunglasses, as you could tell. All right, you guys, so we have come to the end of this video. I know it was super long, but there was a lot to cover, and I wanted to make sure that you guys got all the good, juicy intel on what is coming out for 2025 and beyond. Definitely let me know in the comments below what you like, what you didn't like. If you think I missed any like big trends that are out there right now, let's have a conversation about it. But as always, I hope you guys have a wonderful day or evening from wherever you're watching, and I'll see you guys again soon. All right, bye.